Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, the day-to-day grind, preparing for fleet carriers, space legs, planetary personal bases, and landing on planets with atmosphere. And we'll kind of share where we're at. We're going to be taking some missions. Boom time units of gold, that'll pay 8.277 to New Dawn. We have to New Dawn delivery 56 units of gold, which is almost another 2 million. Going to New Dawn, help quell civil unrest by transporting gold at about 6 million. And then we have a little partial of just 7 units that we won't collect the funds on, but that will be over 16 million. And all we need is about 12 point less than, or even less than 12.1 million to get over the 9.55 billion. So we're going to transport that, and then we'll meet that goal about every 50 million. We do another video. So first, I want to thank you for watching. Look to the bottom right of the video and select that subscribe button. It'll help me out with YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything, and you'll be notified when I produce more videos. And underneath the video in the description, you'll see ways to donate. Please consider donating. And underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, where there's over 545 more videos for you to watch. And the fleet carriers, we have about 3 more days of beta. Check out all the videos I have under the playlist, My Personal Fleet Carriers. And very fascinating, from April the 7th publishing, when we purchased the fleet carrier, all the way through today. What we did is ran out to Beta Hydra, took the fleet carrier with us, and we couldn't park it in Beta Hydra because it's a permit system and you can't park a fleet carrier in a permit system. So we parked it next door in Myanmar, and then we took even the cutter and went and picked up a load of tritium and brought it back to the fleet carrier. And at Edmondson High, they had 247,000 tons of tritium. So it's been kind of rare, but boy, they have plenty there at Edmondson High. So what we're going to do in the May beta, as soon as we purchased the fleet carrier in that beta, we're going straight over to Myanmar and then jumping over to Edmondson High and adding about 16,000 tons of tritium into our storage. So we'll have plenty of tritium during the beta. And since I have 9.5, we'll have at least 5.55, as long as they wait till like the day after the beta's over to take the snapshot. Because what they do is they take a snapshot of our live server, and then they copy that to another server for beta, and your funds is based on that copy, and it's usually about 2 weeks prior than the beta, when the beta starts. So like on the current beta, I had 6.3 billion at the time of the snapshot, and that was rough. It really was. It's probably going to take at least 7.5 to even really use the fleet carrier the way you'd like to. And this week they announced upkeep reduction of an average of 85.5%. So where my upkeep on my fleet carrier currently is 127 million, it'll probably drop in the range of 15 to 20 million per week. It's still not cheap, but the way we can grind missions, we can make the credits, and I'd like to have 1 year of upkeep in the balance of the fleet carrier. So let's say it is, say, 20 million. We would need 240 million in the balance for a year. So if we have at least that, and with fuel costs, I'd probably add another billion into the balance, because watch the video called Purchasing Tritium as of April 17th, publishing, and it was about 40 million for about 910 roughly tons, and we want to purchase 16, 17 times that much, so it's not going to be cheap. But we're going to fill up pretty much the fleet carrier, so we don't have to worry about fuel, and then just every once in a while we go back to Edmondson High with the fleet carrier and load it up again. Top it off at about 16,000 tons every time. And that will leave about 1,000 tons just for miscellaneous. If we had to, we could sell off some tritium, open it up in our commodities market and sell it for higher than we pay, things like that. So we might be able to sell some of it at that time, if that's what we'd want to do. Now, space legs and personal planetary bases and landing on planets with atmosphere, supposed to come out possibly in December 2020. And it'll be a DLC, just like Horizons is a DLC. So it will cost real money to have the availability of space legs, personal planetary bases, and landing on planets with atmospheres. But what's so excited about space legs, if I sit in my chair and I look around my in-game chair, I can see the cockpit area of the Python. So with space legs, I could physically be sitting down, but have the avatar get up and walk around the ship, or possibly get up, exit the ship, and walk around the space station, or my fleet carrier, or anything like that. So that is really cool stuff. Not only are they going to lower the upkeep cost of the fleet carrier by 85.5%, but the tritium fuel will go twice as long. So it'll even be more efficient than it currently, it's inefficient now, but it'll be more efficient as of Beta 2. And universal cartographics are going to be added to your fleet carrier in May, so that's really cool. The services, I needed all the services for the fleet carrier except for the black market, the secure trading service. I don't need that, so that's the only one that I don't need. And it was probably well over $1 billion for all those services, and they're going to cut them by 35 to 45%, the initial cost for those services. Just to store your own ships on your fleet carrier, you have to have the shipyard, and the shipyard was about 450 million. So they're going to cut back on that a little bit, and the outfitting just to store your modules, your stored modules, you have to have outfitting, and you have to have refueling, you have to have repair, you have to have all of these things. And that's why I say I needed all the services except for black market, and it wasn't cheap, so it's still going to be pretty expensive. It's probably still going to be about 600 million for all the services added on to the 5 billion for the purchase of the fleet carrier. That's only the beginning, the 5 billion. You need much more than that. And then the fuel's not cheap. It's going to cost $500 million for fuel to load it up. So yeah, it's really kind of crazy. So you have to be able to make credits like we are doing here in these cargo missions. So let's get going, and if I think of anything else. Oh, and the ramp up time was an hour, it's now 15 minutes. Cool down time for the fleet carrier was an hour, it's 5 minutes. So that's really cool too. And when you or if you like go on vacation or had a family emergency or whatever and you had to be away from the game for a while, if you were in debt for 4 weeks, then they would decommission your ship. Now it's 10 weeks before they'll decommission your ship or your fleet carrier. So, yeah, pretty wild. Watch my videos too. I bought 3 more Pythons, so I have 4. There'll be support ships for the fleet carrier. There's a cargo version, which is this one. It's RGPYT CGO for cargo, and then there's one for travel, and there's one for mining, and one for planetary. So I can just jump into that ship. It's all set up. It's already modded. It has the outfitting that it needs, and we just go. And I might wind up doing the same thing with cutters. I have a cargo cutter right now, but I might do the same thing because it's a large ship, and this is a medium ship. And someday I might go with a fleet of small ships too, and just have them all on the fleet carrier. So if I think of anything else, I'll let you know. Let's get on to New Dawn and deliver these missions and gain 16+ million more to our balance, putting us over 9.55 billion.
Landing gear retracted. Ship released. Engines engaged.
Is this left?
Frameshift drive charging.
And be on the watch out when you land on someone else's carrier. I was attacked twice yesterday by pirates trying to land on someone else's carrier. So just kind of keep an eye open.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
When you're trying to do that. So be sure to press that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of the video. I really need subscribers, far from the minimum that YouTube requires to get support, and we already have a pirate lining up to interdict us. And please consider donating to our channel because the costs are very high creating 500+ videos. And watch more of our videos. We have I've been recording about everything from January, and might be going too slow. Okay, that's probably better. Now I can concentrate on the interdiction. And so I've got 2 videos where I'm interdicted 7 times in one Super Cruise run. And lately I've been interdicted 4 times pretty consistently in every run. See, here's another pirate lining up. So we've been getting 4 most of the time. So he's getting behind us where he can interdict us. I think, yeah, I like where I have the throttle at the moment. It's kind of usually where I keep it. It's a little slow. He doesn't quickly run us into things, but sometimes, even during the interdiction, the throttle sticks and it goes to maximum. So that's another thing I don't like, and I don't like the interdictions. I make that clear. I wish we could play the game to our style and instead of to this pirate fantasy style. I'm not real fond of it. It's like you going to the grocery store and being carjacked 4 times every time you go to work or the store. So how realistic is that? Not much. If it was in real life, that carjacker would meet my .44 Magnum. Now here, yeah, I could learn how to fight better, but when I get knocked out of Super Cruise sometimes, there's 4 ships waiting for me and they all fire at me at the same time. So that would be very difficult to fend off. Sis left. And combat is not my strong suit. I have elite rank in trade and in exploring, and I only have a competent in combat. Sis view. And all of my combat is bounty hunting skimmers, so there's a big difference bounty hunting skimmers and taking on NPC ships. And I only play in solo. You see that the squares are full. They're not hollow. They don't have a hollow dot in the center of them. So I'm not about to play open. This game is way too crazy when it comes to pirating for me to ever play open. So, I mean, there is no chance of that. The only time I've ever been in open, I got there accidentally and got out of there as fast as I could. But I'm trying to hold my rants back a little bit. To me, this is an okay to a good game. It could be a great game if they would allow you to customize based on your style, like in the settings. And my style is not to be interdicted 7 times in a Super Cruise run. Sis left.
DeLacy, Romeo Golf, India.
Incoming mission critical message.
Submit a request and enjoy your stay. Access granted. You are go for approach to pad 03. You are go for automated docking. Enjoy the ride, Commander.
Now, if your style is kill or be killed, if that's all you care about doing is killing and being killed, then it's perfect. That's the way the game is set up. But for us explorers and traders, that everything's not about killing and being killed, we have no way to make the credits that we need for content, like the fleet carriers, without being attacked all the time. So that's why it will only be a good or an okay to a good game for me until they change it to where I can customize the game for my gameplay. So okay. I'll try not to rant too much. Is this up?
Solid contact, dispatching ground crew. Welcome to the station, Commander.
Now, the graphics, the scenery is awesome. The fleet carrier, it's awesome. Flying ships, that's awesome. I have over 2,200 hours in this game, so it's not all bad. There's some very good things. And could this be the greatest game ever? Oh yeah, they could if they wanted. If they gave the player a little more control of how they want to play, this could be one of the greatest games ever. But so far, they don't really care about being one of the greatest games ever. For some reason. As you can tell, I don't own Frontier, or it would be different. I would be listening to my players, trying to find ways to make everyone happy, so they can play the way they enjoy playing. Frontier does not have that idea. They don't care what you think most of the time. Now, They did hear the screamings about the problems with the fleet carriers, and they did change things for the fleet carrier. So I have to hand them that. It's probably the first time ever that Frontier has listened to their players and did something that the players wanted. So that's not normal for Frontier. So it's usually, we created it this way, and it's your problem if you don't like it. So that's their normal attitude when it comes to their players. We did hit the 9.55. So sis right. And see, I'm not always happy with Voice Attack, which is a separate program, because I have to repeat myself. I shouldn't have to repeat myself over and over again to get it to work. So in the Oculus Rift S that I use, sometimes it loses tracking. That's crazy. That drives me nuts. I have to reboot the Oculus software, at least once a day. I mean, that's crazy. They need to fix that too. So everybody needs to fix their stuff, and they could all be great if they would just fix their stuff. So, as I say, it's all broken. If they're willing to fix all the brokenness, their game and their Voice Attack and Oculus could be great. So that's what I'm hoping, that they'll hear me someday and listen to the players. Let us customize it so we get to play to our play style, and you get to play to your play style, and that would be awesome. So just hinting to Frontier all the time. So, well, we did hit the 9.55. We're grinding, and what I'm going to try to do in the future is always have at least 10 billion credits available. So in June, when we have to spend the 5 billion plus at least a $500 million on the upgrades, I have to put about $1.5 billion into the balance of the fleet carrier. That's probably about 7 billion. Then I'll have to make that up. So I'll have to keep grinding until after I purchase the fleet carrier, have it all set up, have probably $1.5 billion in the balance of the fleet carrier. Then I want to grind back up to about 10 billion again, because we have space legs, because we have personal planetary bases and landing on planets with atmospheres coming. I want to have 10 billion for that too when that shows up. And I want to probably, see, I have four Pythons now as support ships for the fleet carrier. I'm probably going to want 4 cutters. And I have one. I have a cargo version. And I'm probably going to want 3 more. We'll probably park the fleet carrier next to each of the engineers and completely, 100%, mod them out. Every one of them. Exactly the way we want it. And maybe in a month or 2 or 3 months, we go, well, this is great, but it could be better if we had this class of module and it was modded. We'll keep a shopping list, and then we'll go make the rounds again to all the engineers again, about once every couple of months, and fully load them up. So continue to watch my videos. I'm going to keep producing videos. Subscribe to my channel. And again, it doesn't cost you anything. It helps me with YouTube. I can get some support from YouTube and to make all these videos. And please consider donating, because that helps too, and because it's so expensive. And watch more of my videos and keep going along. I'm going to buy all the new content. I'm going to show videos on all the new content. It's going to be in detail. I don't give summaries. You ride along with me while we run cargo missions, and while we do planetary exploring, and while we go to the engineers, show you how to unlock them, where to get the materials to unlock them, to go to the engineer, to mod the modules, to what materials are needed for each of the modules, the material traders, we go to the material traders, we move material around. If we fill up one material, we move it to some other materials, try to even it out. So when we need materials, then we can have them. And I'm hoping someday they put material traders on our fleet carriers. That would be really awesome. Just a hint. Another hint. There's a lot of hints. And like we're going to go to Dav's Hope and Jameson crash site with the fleet carrier. And we'll spend days at each one of those doing videos. And I have videos right now on Dav's Hope and Jameson crash site. You need to check those out. And like the Guardian surface site, go there and just collect all the material we can, all the blueprints we can. We'll go to each of the Guardian sites. So we go, and I have one on a Guardian site. Go to the Thargoid Guardian or the Thargoid sites and collect materials from there. I don't want to be attacked though for having too much of their stuff. So, because they'll attack you in hyperspace, and I don't think I like that. So we might have to watch what we take. Of Thargoid, because Guardians no longer exist. It's just the stuff that they created that wiped them out is the only thing that's left. So we'll be doing a whole lot of that, and a whole lot of just investigating the galaxy. So come along with me and you will see details of content. And I already have 545 videos of detail of content. So again, thank you for watching. Come along on the next adventure, and we're at 9.55. And the next video will be around 9.6 billion. So I'll run a few missions in between, and you'll see it about every 50 million. So until next time, thank you for watching.